Hello everybody and welcome to the FRR here live on Twitch. This race at Britain is the first of 12 races we will have in Season 2. And with transfers, a new podcast and many additions to the league, this season will surely be the best out of the lot. We will have 15 minutes of qualifying and then going into the race we'll have 26 laps, a 50% race which will last about 30 minutes long. We hope you enjoy your time watching all of this unfold in front of your eyes as we will shortly begin the first race of the FRR Season 2. So, I will quickly go through, as I said, the transfers. New transfers, of course. New teams, new people on new teams. A lot to talk about, and I will just quickly go over the driver lineup here right now. The Mercedes, I don't know if this is outdated or not. I think it is. I think I saw Crazy Griefer in the Mercedes. Well, it doesn't look like there's any Mercedes here today. So, we had Elite Risks, and it says on here also, what's his man's name? Carino? I don't know if he is, no, that's just Paoli Vaste. He just changed his name. So, Paoli Vaste and Elite Risks will be on the Mercedes this season. And Paoli Vaste, he was the driver who finished second last season in the Drivers' Championship, but the person that finished first was, of course, Stocky himself. And moving on to Stocky's former team, we'll go on to Red Bull. Hungry Throne 878 in the Red Bull, and Filthy Scrubberdub over in the Red Bull as well. And Filthy Scrubberdub's previous team was the Haskar, and Hungry Thrones, I believe, if I can remember, was the Ferrari? I'm not too sure on that. But we'll take a look at Ferrari themselves, which includes Stocky and Razagamer HD. Razagamer HD's former team being Mercedes, but now he has gone over to the Reds. Now into the McLaren, Henkaz and Brad, both in the McLaren. I think a pretty good lineup going into these for the McLaren. Henkaz, he was also in that Haas team last season, and Brad, he was in, I think, Ferrari. He did a fantastic job in that Ferrari, pushing himself to the limits. And in the Aston Martin, Weeksy and James Colaco. In the AlphaTauri, FaZe Popke and Stannis. And in the Haas car, Crazy Griefer and Gonzo. In the Williams, Bang and Full TC, or RS Full TC. And in the Alpine, Halsey and Shakos. I think that's his name. So here we go then, folks. Here at Great Britain, with our short qualifying, going underway very, very soon. Alright. I apologise if you did hear the stream in the background. I've turned it all the way to mute now. So you will not be hearing that anymore. Tier 1 really gives you the best action in the Racing League. The great battles up towards the podium spots. We saw that with Spain, where Paoli Vaste was trying to defend the lead against Stocky, but we had a great old battle, I think around 5 corners it was, all the way, and then eventually Stocky came out on top. And Jake says, here we go, and indeed we go. We are currently taking a look at the pits, and, well, I always love a bit of qualifying, seeing who is the best in just their car and their car alone. Not any, let's see who's the best at overtaking, just pure pace alone. Who is the best on it, and how are they going to perform at different tracks, and what position they'll line themselves up in the grid. It's always fun to see, in my opinion. And we will see it very shortly. Noe Vaste. Oh, yes, indeed, Noe Vaste. Elite Risks is, in there for the Mercedes, but Paoli Vaste seems not to be. That is a good call out there, Jake. RS4TC has left the session. We assume that that's due to Wi-Fi connection. I'm sure that we'll get him back soon. And now we see Stocky, the Drivers' Championship winner last season. He's going to come out of the pits here on the first bit of qualifying for this British Grand Prix. Here we go then. Just pure action here with Stocky, the first man on his outlap. And really seeing that man in the Ferrari, you know, it does kind of put a smile on my face. I think, you know, he looks better in the Ferrari, you know. It just looks more clean, yeah. Stocky helmet, you gotta love it. Look at that. It just looks beautiful, in my opinion, the Ferrari car. And I love it when a top-tier driver like Stocky is able to drive inside of it. Britain, such an infamous track for the FRR. And will it prove to give another astounding race today, shortly? So, yeah, we're getting full TC back. He's back after previously just going away. It was unfortunate. Yeah, look at that helmet. That is just a beautiful helmet. I mean, you've got to really take the appreciation in, you know, the helmet design that Stocky has right now. You can see him down on that straight, warming up the tyres, going into the next turn on the softs. Many people on the outlap, but Stocky was the first one to go on the outlap, and with the former Drivers' Championship winner, we're going to put our focus on him. What can he perform in his first ever qualifying stint in the Ferrari? And off we go, as we see something happen. Sector 1 to 2. I think it's nothing. Like, qualifying is just so annoying with that type of stuff, because you're just like, oh my god, people span or something, but no, it's just people going slow, purposely on the tracks to just warm up their tyres, and it's kind of annoying when that happens. So now we'll go on board with Stocky here, with his teammate ahead, I believe, or is that the Red Bull? I think it's the Red Bull. Yes, it is going to be the Red Bull. Here we go then. Stocky with the deck of cards design on his helmet. Now, here we go. So, last few turns of this qualifying stint, first ever lap performed in the Ferrari for Stocky. Just listen to that engine. Absolutely beautiful. Here we go. Into the chicane we go. On board with Stocky. The exit's nice. Here we go. He's going to come across the line. He will be automatically P1, but what's he going to set? A 127.5. Is anybody going to beat that? James Colaco in the Aston Martin. Ferrari last year, I believe. Here we go. He's going to come across the line very shortly here in the Aston Martin. What is he going to perform? Is he going to outperform Stocky, or is he just going to put a mid-lap, kind of mid-lap, and, well, he's going to put a 128, which puts him into 14th. Sorry, 4th, not 14th. What am I saying? 14th. Jesus, I'm a bit, you know, rusty on my commentating. James Colaco in the 4th position, as Filthy Scrub just recently went across the line to snatch that P3 away from James. Week C, you know, James Colaco's teammate, he performs a 127.8. Very, very close to Stocky's time of a 127.5. Only 300 milliseconds off. Adam Foran says, sir, in the chat. Lovely to see. Week C was in the Alfa Romeo last year, and speaking of Alfa Romeo, oh, Elite Risks. Well, we saw this last time we were at Abu Dhabi, didn't we? Abu Dhabi, it was just a walk in the park for Elite Risks. And here he comes with another astounding lap of a 127.1, but this time at Silverstone. Fantastic from Elite Risks. He puts himself P1 in the Mercedes. And with him not having a teammate today, how's that going to pan out? Mercedes in this race. No Power Evaste today. Stocky goes into the pits after performing that 127.5. Rise Game HD has set his time, the teammate of Stocky, the 128.0 or 8.0. 28.0. But now Face Pop K has snatched that P4 away, and he has got a 127.9. So we're in that 128, 127 area. Is that going to... Well, is that time going to decrease? I was going to say increase, but technically it's decrease. And I think RS Full TC. I'll just call him RS. RS. No, I'll call him RS Full. I think RS Full is more fuller. Hey. RS Full with a 128.5. So now we see another. Oh, crazy griefer with a 137.1. What has he done there? He was the winner at Singapore, which was the, I think, 12th race out of 14th race that we had last season. You know, jogging up my memory, I think that was the first ever race I commentated on. But crazy griefer in the Haas car, definitely not as performing as well. And as you can see, the grid order starting to get in shape with Elite Risks on top, Stocky following behind, but not far behind. And for some reason, my controller stopped working for a second. That was pretty odd. So Stocky now on his outlap after being previously in the pits, but for third position, Weeksy with a wonderful 127.8. He puts himself on the podium spots. I had to just check something there, folks. Sorry about that. So, seems like everyone's either on their outlap or going into the pits. So Stocky, he's on his outlap. He was the man who was on his first outlap for the first stint of this qualifying session. I think I got that right. He is now also the only man to come out on his outlap. Oh no, not only man now. Scrub it up, filthy scrub it up in the Red Bull. He is also on his outlap, but Stocky, it's going to be a tight battle between Elite Risks and Stocky. I think Risks just put such a performance, you know, Abu Dhabi just really showed him up, you know. He was like, yeah, I'm in the big leagues now, you know. This is me. I'm going to just storm this league. But Stocky, I feel like he's going to, you know, go toe-to-toe with Mercedes this season. I think it's going to make up for an entertaining battle, which you should stay and watch throughout the whole of the season, not only just for this race, folks. So, Stocky, apparently he's not in his outlap anymore. Did I just completely miss that? Okay. Elite go vroom, very fast, real fast. Wise words from Adam Foreman there. Wise words. So the fastest lap time being a 127.1, performed by Elite Risks. I think it should be time to plug in the podcast. 25th of November, Friday, this Friday. You can listen to us chat about this race, over there. I think it's going to be on Spotify. We're not too sure about YouTube yet. We're still trying to get it on YouTube, but Spotify is a definite go. But back to the racing we go in the McLaren. I think they're going to be the biggest prospects of this season in the McLaren. But here we go. Stocky now. And through that chicane on the big straight. Just going to put up the track map. Let's go for the full track map there. There we are. So we can see exactly where his turns are. So he's on the fourth last turn. So here we go. He's just about to finish his lap. Can he improve on his previous lap of a 127.5? Is he going to improve? And how much is he going to improve by? So across the line he goes. And it's not going to improve. It's only that 127.5 that is still holding up for Stocky. So it's a no-go for that. Elite Risks now on their big boy lap. Let's see what they can perform. Second lap of the qualifying session. In the Mercedes. I feel like he's going to kind of carry Mercedes as well. For the constructors as well. He's just going to get so many points. He's going to get so much podium spots. I apologise if you heard that. My cat just climbed on top of a cupboard. That was a bit weird. But here we go then. Elite Risk, it's always lovely to see, you know, a new competitor in our league. Or in the league, not my league, but in the league. And, well, to see someone make such an impact at Abu Dhabi, the only question you're really saying to yourself is, can they do it again? You know, just an instant impact. That is the big question for Elite Risk today. Can he keep up the performance he did at Abu Dhabi, and can he swift it over to the first race of this season? So here we go. Through into the chicane. Final few turns for Elite Risks. Is he going to perform on his lap time? Stocky goes into the pits. Here comes Elite Risks, and it is going to be an improvement, and it's gone to a 127.08. Wow. Like Adam said, Elite go vroom vroom real fast. Great stuff from him. No real change in the stands. Still that top three. Still staying with Elite Risks, Stocky F1 and Weeksy. Weeksy and Face Popgate. Oh no, never mind. I thought Popgate was part of Aston Martin for a second. It just looked like the colour on the left looked dark green for me instead of black. But, you know. So his teammate, James Colaco, first time in the Aston Martin, and he is P8, whilst his teammate up into P3. And, well, what else? What team do I also think is just going to perform extremely well this season? Well, I've already said that I think McLaren are the dark horses for this season. What else do I think? Who I think are going to do well? Do you know what? I reckon. I actually do reckon Haas, though. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, they haven't really done so well in qualifying this race in particular. But Crazy Griefer, we know he can pack a punch. And Scrubber Dub, we saw him battling in Abu Dhabi. Made some 4 really entertaining battles, but can he bring over those battles into this season? Can he make them even more entertaining? Though we'll have to see. It's always good seeing the first race of a season. It's just more energy, more excitement, and new records to be broken for a new season. Well, everyone's in the pits except for Hungry Throne and Crazy Griefer. But I'm not too sure if Hungry Throne is just going to go into the pits. Scrubber Dub is on his outlap, so that's the first man on the outlap. He has yet to set a time, and we've only got 4 minutes left of qualifying, so he's going to have to get in a good time and a good time quick, and that just looked like he was floating for a second. That was a bit weird. Apparently the track is a mirror. That's a bit odd. Anyways, so no, Crazy Griefer comes across the line. What is he going to perform? Is he going to perform better than his original lap time? And it is not going to be better than his 1:30.9. Hungry Throne did go into the pits like I predicted. Scrubber Dub, you know, in Sector 2, he's going to... in Sector 2, he's going to... I should really shut up. Sector 2, he's going to come into Sector 3 very soon, and then eventually the finish line. I do just want to see how he does in the Haas car for his first actual lap, potentially. Because he's not done a lap yet. And that is not good for... I don't know if he was in the Haas last season. Wasn't Scrubber Up in the Haas last season? I think he was. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I've got to try and refresh my memory, re-jog my memory a little bit. But nonetheless... Just because I don't know what team he's been in, doesn't mean I don't know what he can do out there. And he can perform some pretty good lap times, like we previously saw last season. Sclub-a-dub-dub. And what has happened? Crazy Griefer in the wall, and he has got a broken front wing completely off. And well, I was talking earlier about how Crazy Griefer, you know, Singapore, he won that Grand Prix. And, well, he's probably not going to be winning here at Great Britain because he's just lost his front wing in qualifying. And he's going to go straight into the pits to try and sort that out. Not a good look for him in the Haas car. So, here we go. Only 2 minutes left to qualify. Well, technically, 1 minute and 47 seconds left of qualifying. Just have to see what happens with Scrub-a-Dub. I think that is Scrub-a-Dub. No. Wait, no, that's not even Scrub-a-Dub. What am I saying? Oh, God's sake, I'm actually the worst ever. Oh, no, he's in the pits anyways. So, Scruff v Dub. You cannot blame me for not thinking that was Scrub-a-Dub, man. So, Scruff v Dub. I'll call him Scluff. Scluff retires after going into the pit. So, he's like, you know what? Let me bin this off, mate. Cannot be bothered. I can't believe that. I've just completely bottled it. I'll call him Scrub-a-Dub. Scruff v Dub. I mean, come on. Really, guys? Really? Come on. Are you trying to make me feel like commentating? Come on. There we go. Stocky hugging the barricade's a bit there. And now, here we go. Sector 2. Man in the Ferrari. Vroom vroom. I don't know if you call that, you know, the S's of Silverstone. The S's of Silverstone. He goes through the S's of Silverstone into the next turn. Hugging that inside line, coming out of the turn. Here he goes. The chicane. Put to perfection. And here's Stocky coming across the line. What's he going to get? He is not going to get... well, he did get a better lap time, but it's not going to put him pole. A 1:27.1. And that really just shows you how close he is to elite risks. On that scale, you know? And he's going to come across the line. Can he just prove me wrong and just say, you know what? You know what, mate? I'm clear of this mug. No, he can't, actually. Because he's just gone wide and his lap time has been invalid. So, oh, I did not see this. The Williams up into P3. Bang. Bang, bang. Into the podium. Great stuff from him. Fantastic. 1:27.6. Just snatches Weeksy's time. Well, Weeksy's position right off. And now Henkaz has performed higher than Face Pop K. But now Razzle Gamer HD comes in the Ferrari to go P4. So, the Ferrari sandwiching, bang, in the Williams. Interesting. What's that going to be like on the grid for today? And Razzle Gamer HD, we saw in the Mercedes last season, wasn't too great. He was usually at the back of the grid. But this season, he's in a Ferrari. I also believe that he was tier 2 last season. Was he not? I think he was tier 2 last season. I think he was. So this is a new kind of area for him. And he's put himself up into P5. Never mind. Face Pop Gay. He just said, no. Wait a minute. Invitations to go to the podium. I'll take one of those. Thank you very much. And Stocky is retired. Face Pop Gay said, you know what? Let's have at it. And then he's just performed P3 in an AlphaTauri, Elsa's teammate. Standards, I believe it is. Yes, in P10. Still a good position to be in for this race, but you can't beat a P3. Face Popke, wow, he was the teammate of Razzle Gamer HD in the Williams last season. No, not Williams. Mercedes. That's my bad. In the Mercedes last season. And, well, they were kind of like if you had two Lance Strolls on the team. If you had Lance Stroll and Nikita Mazepin on the team, it would probably be that. No offense to the lads, but, you know, they did not perform well in the Mercedes. So, I'm very interested to see them, you know, go up to P3 territory for Face Popke, and especially for Razzle Gamer HD, P5. But the man of the 15-minute short qualifying here at Britain, Elite Risks, gets P1 in the Mercedes with 1:27.0. Congratulations to Elite Risks, as we will shortly, in just 25 seconds, will get into the British Grand Prix, the first race of Season 2 of the FRR. Here we go, folks. I don't know if I was muted for that whole thing, so that would be kind of annoying if it was. But here we go. 5 red lights. We're out, and we're underway for the British Grand Prix, the first race of the season. Here we go. Elite Risk still holding that lead into P1 and into the first turn. He's created a big gap to Stocky, who's behind by 500 milliseconds. And here we go. We're seeing so overtakes instantly around the outside. Goes James Colacco on the inside now of another AlphaTauri. He's going to try... Oh, we've seen a spin! We've seen a span. And what has happened there? We're going to try and get some more information. It is Stanners. He span out on that turn. And he's moved himself all the way down into P13. That is, of course, not very good. But here we go. Weeksy getting closer and closer to Stocky into the next turn. Sniffing the gearbox. And for some reason, Crazy Griefer has span or something. He's all the way behind on 6 seconds. Face Popke and James Colacco with a tight battle. The AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin going close, edge to edge with each other. Side by side onto the straight. We've seen a McLaren go wide on the backside, and there's a bit of contact coming into the next turn. James Colacco pulls ahead, and he is up into P4. This is great stuff. Here's Stocky coming closer and closer over to Elite Risk. We see Forty scrubbing up. He overtakes RS. Full TC Risks still with a fantastic start, and here we go. Oh, look at the speed Stocky has. So close to the Mercedes, but no move going to appear. No gaps forming for Stocky to go on the inside or the outside of. Stocky, though, still staying behind, still on the tail of Elite Risks in the Mercedes. Here we go. Stocky kind of towing Weeksy as well. But look at that. Weeksy just falling behind. It looks like mostly for a battle between the top two. A 1:47.9 set for the fastest lap time here so far. And Filthy scrubbing up. And Hungry Throne having a great little battle on the main straight. Here we go into the next turn. It looks like Filthy scrubbing up still ahead by some, well, not by much. Here we go. Is there... Oh, look at this. The battle between the two Red Bulls. This is brilliant stuff. On the inside. They're side by side. This is wheel-to-wheel stuff. Who would have thought? And then eventually, Filthy Scrubbing Up will defend his position of P7. But here comes Hungry Throne coming right back at him. But now, we're going to put our eyes over to Stocky. Getting closer and closer. And now, shortly, we're going to go on to a main straight. How close is Stocky going to get? Because we saw on that different main straight, we saw so much speed being carried out. Just dropping and dropping and dropping. Henkaz is in the pits. That's surely for damage. But here we go. Round the outside potentially. Elite Risk with beautiful car placement. And no chance for Stocky to overtake. But he is still sniffing for an opportunity. He's in the Ferrari. Elite Risks in the Mercedes. This is the battle I want to see throughout the whole of this season. Look how close they are together. This is going to be a right-on squabble. And Stanzas getting closer and closer on the inside. We're now on the outside of the Haas car. Here we go. Closer and closer and closer they go. And look at this. Look at Stocky now. So close. 100 milliseconds behind. We're going to turn their attention straight to him. Is Elite Risk going to hold back the Ferrari for long? Here we go. Closer and closer. Edging towards an opportunity potentially for Stocky. As you can see, he kind of let off the throttle a tiny bit coming on the exit of that turn. But getting closer and closer. Into next turn. No, not going to overtake, unfortunately for him. And, oh, what's happened to Filthy Scrubbing Up? What's happened? They've span! Oh, it's poor from the Red Bull. We saw them just a minute ago, battling with their own teammates. But now, unfortunately for him, they've spanned and they've dropped all the way back down into P13. And now side by side, with Bang in the, well, oh my god, did we see a spin there? Look at Ragnar. You know, just kind of going extremely slow. But here we go. Weeksy getting more... Well, Weeksy's closer to Stocky than Stocky's closer to Elite Risk. But here we go. Hungry Throne looking to go round the outside of Razor Gamer HD. But Razor Gamer HD not going to allow it. So close. Wheel-to-wheel stuff. The Ferrari. Can he just end the Red Bull? No, he can't. The Red Bull getting in front and making sure to close the door shut on Razor Gamer HD. And here we go then. Stocky still trying to chase down Elite Risks. And we see that 3-second time penalty for Sven. And we see an incident right there. Is it to do with Spencer? It is. Sven. They've dropped down into P14. This is a wet race, so it's kind of expected for these kinds of turns. Or spins, sorry. I do apologise. Stocky. Look how close he is to Elite Risks for the lead here. Into the next turn. Hungry Throne with the fastest lap time in the Red Bull. But we're going to fix our eyes onto this battle, which will come up in a second. Full TC with a 3-second time penalty. Here we go. Full wets in Britain. Stocky trying to edge closer and closer towards Elite Risk, but Elite Risk still just has that dominant pace over him. Weeksy not following far behind from Stocky. You can see those two on the full map display all the way back. Henkaz and Creative Grief are distant apart, and look how much farther away Weeksy is now, almost by a second, and now it is a second. So, you know, if DRS was on, obviously he'd be out of the DRS range. But Weeksy just still hanging on by a thread to try and stay within a fight between Stocky and Elite Risks. Oh, look at the speed, the Ferrari, so close to the Mercedes. Look at this, round the outside, here we go. The Ferrari trying to make the move, but instantly Elite Risk says, no, I will not allow it. Instantly closes the door on Stocky, and eventually Elite Risk going through the chicane. There will be no overtake for Stocky, just yet again sitting behind and trying to just wait for the right time to attack. Still no overtake for him. Hungry Throne getting quite close to face Popke. Look how close they are right here. The Red Bull close to the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri just pulling away though into this next turn. And look how much more faster Red Bull looks right now. Just in that next turn. You can see instantly, but now look at this. A perfect view of that battle right there. And something's happened. It's Scruff, I believe. No. Stanner, what has happened to him? He span all the way back down, and something else has happened. Razagamer HD has span. The teammate of Stocky, who was battling, of course, for that P1 position, they've span all the way back down into P12. That is awful for them. Now we see a bit of a train forming here between 4 cars now. Face Popke, Angry Throne, RS Full TC, all in a little train of themselves, and all we see the wet track coming into play, then it allows Hungry Throne to overtake Face Popke. And now RSTC overtaking Face Popke as well. Here we go into the next turn. The AlphaTauri coming so close, and on. Oh, it's wide from 4TC. And now here's Week C over here in the Aston Martin. Week C not only just hanging on by a thread, but hanging on by one hand on a metal pole. Something's happened here. What has happened to Face Popke? And we saw a bit of struggle for them in the wets, and they've eventually just fell down into P8. You can see the track getting very distant with each other, the grid getting very distant, but the 3 drivers that have stayed the same are these 3. The battle for the lead with these 3 cars. Elite Risks still in P1 though. But Stocky following just behind, and Elite Risks just forming a bigger gap now, 900 milliseconds compared to that only 200 milliseconds that we saw last lap. So an increase in speed there for the Mercedes. And now look at that. Stocky is 1 second away. Apologies. We have seen a Williams spin there. Something's happened. Sector 1 also. So many yellow flags being thrown up into the air right now. Yet again, what is happening? I think that's Razagamer HD with a little spin. Yes, it is. Look at that. 10-second time penalty for Razagamer HD. Oh my, oh my. Well, that is definitely going to do no good for Ferrari. Exactly what you wouldn't want to see. Let me see here. So position changes. Hungry throw with 10 positions. Right there. That is beautiful. So we can see penalties more clearing out. Stocky. The gap is pulling away. Well, Elite Risk is pulling away. And what's happened to Razor Game HD? Oh my. Well, I said earlier, Razor Game HD, you know, didn't perform too well in the Mercedes last year. Well, last season. And this season, it proves to just be the same. But now, here we go. Stocky within a second now, again, with Elite Risk. But now Elite Risk trying to pull away from the Ferrari. Look at how much more distant it looks now. And Elite Risk was setting the fastest lap of the race so far. Here we go. Hungry Throne steals that fastest lap time. Stanza's getting very, very close there. With the Red Bull, filthy scrubbered up in the Haskell last season. Now in the Red Bull doing... Oh, Elite Risk has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, no. That is not what you want to see. Well. He's practically dropped himself down into P3 with that. And Stocky will be relieved that he finally gets his P1. Not in a way that he wants to get P1. But still, nonetheless, it is still P1. And Razor Gamer HD has just retired from the session. Well, now look at this. Look at this battle between Stanners and Filthy Scrubberdub. The AlphaTauri looking to pull away from the Red Bull. Red Bull still on the tail of Stanners. Here we go then. Oh, that was very, very weird. Stanners just kind of let the Red Bull go. Looked odd to me. But here we go then. Stocky. Look at how close he is to Elite Risks now. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's still P1 anyways. But it would just feel nice to just, you know... Oh, what was that? Elite Risk with a little bit of a spin. Could have been detrimental to his... Oh, now here's Weeksy! Look at how closer the gap has got because of Elite Risk's little kind of slippage there. But here we go into the next turn. The Ferrari looking to go on the inside. Doesn't look like it's going to go that way. Weeksy... So close to the Ferrari, but the Ferrari close to the Mercedes. What's happened to FaZe Popke? We'll see right now. It's a spin from FaZe Popke. They've gone wide, but it doesn't really matter right now because here we go. Weeksy here with not that great Wi-Fi connection, but he's got great pace. Here we go. Next turn. This is practically a battle for the lead right now with Stocky and Weeksy. So many yellow flags being thrown out. Just look at the Wi-Fi connection for Weeksy. That's definitely... It's probably the reason why Weeksy hasn't actually just overtaken the Ferrari yet. It's probably down to the Wi-Fi of Weeksy. A technical fault on his part. But here we go. Stocky getting closer and closer to Elite Risks. It all really depends if Stocky gets a time penalty and if Weeksy does as well. Here we go then, on this straight. Going to get closer and closer, I assume. We've seen it many times down this straight. But not really, just a couple of tenths gained. Stocky's still staying behind. Into the pits, Elite Risks go. So, I'm wondering what that really is then. Why is he going into the pits? We'll give you some more updates on that a little bit later. Maybe it's for wing damage. We're not too sure. Well, I'm not too sure. So there's an incident sector 1 and well. I mean, Ragnar going wide. Hungry Throne with a 143. He's coming into the pits. I think it's just a basic stop time. Oh, onto the intermediate. So the track drying up. Weeksy now. Look how close he is to the Ferrari. Multiple people pitting, so doing the same thing as what's his name? Razor Gamer H. No. What's his name? Forgot. Elite Risks did. Oh, I'm so stupid. So what has happened there? A DNF from, I think that is the AlphaTauri. We saw Stannis have some great battles with Filthy Scrubdub, but something has happened to him. And he's out of the race. Weeksy and Stocky still together, and Scruff has got a 3-second time penalty as well. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with time penalties here. Weeksy, it's a battle between Aston Martin and Ferrari right now. At Silverstone, at the first race of the season, Weeksy proving to be a dominant driver around this track. So Stannis said that he just retired because he just said that there was no point racing, considering that he had a full wet setup on and was losing so much time down the straights that he just thought, you know what, there's no point. So interesting there. Here we go. So both of these men into the pits. We'll see if who has the better pit stop here for the West. But the ultimate question is Elite Risks going? Well, it looks like Stocky's had a much better pit stop there. Jeez Louise. But Elite Risk, can he catch him? No, I think he can. Here we go. Last day, it's going to be so close between Stocky and Weeksy. And with Elite Risks, here we are then. And Elite Risk is able to overtake them. Oh, it's so close. Look at this. Oh my. Well, Elite Risks, it doesn't really do him any favours though, to be honest. And, well, these two on the full wets, Hungry Throne and Filthy Scrubdub, the two rebels. Wow, my. They are in P1, P2, having a 1-2 here. I think these two are in the pits. Yep, that's the reason why Ragnar gained so many positions. Stocky 1 second behind Elite Risks. Crazy Grief has got a 3-second time penalty. Time penalties being dished here and there, but the two men that I'm really focusing on here is Weeksy and Stocky. And Weeksy lost so much time to Stocky through those pits. We saw a 200 millisecond gap, and now it's gone to a 1.1 second gap. You can see how much lag Weeksy has as well. Maybe that's just me, but on my screen it looks like awful lag for him. Face Pop K with a 3-second time. Oh my word! What's happened there, James Corlaco? Well, he's already got 6 seconds for his time penalties. And that just really has put salt in the wound for one driver for the Aston Martin. But the other could be battling for P1. But they really need to improve on their pace if they are going to do so. Elite Risks. Oh no, Filthy Scrubdub in the pits, of course. Hungry Throne also in the pits. Hungry Throne, to be fair, still P1. Go on, lads. Don't think that he's going to be P1 when he comes out. No, he's not. He's down P4, maybe P5. No, he's just going to come out P4. But now Weeksy has caught up to Stocky by quite a bit now. And we're back to the top 3 battle. For on-track battle. I mean, if it was to end like this, then obviously Stocky and Weeksy would be propelled up into P1, P3, and P2, sorry. So, realistically, Weeksy and Stocky having a battle for P1. Oh my god, did you see that, folks? The technical fault has become more than a fault here. What's happened to Elite Risks? Oh, they've spun! Oh, they've spun. We were just talking about having a walk in the park for Elite Risks in qualifying. He's now had a walk in the grass. Mercedes dropped down into 5th place. That is definitely not going to help him. Weeksy here, Stocky. Look at this. It's just very close. We saw this battle kind of occur at Sao Paulo last season, and we've seen it come up again. Now, we are not too sure whether we have, potentially dries or slicks going to come on later on. And Weeksy has just instantly stolen the fastest lap away from Stocky, the 138. And it looks like his connection has just fixed up a little bit. Still, his car's shaking a tiny bit, but I think that's just from the vibration of the track, to be honest. So, there we go. Weeksy now with not weak Wi-Fi. So, that's definitely going to help him. Here we go on the straights here. And Elite Risk has just been overtaken by Ragnar because he's in the pits, considering he had wing damage. So, now he's dropped down into 7th place rather than being, I think it was 5th. And, oh, now all the way down to 10th. Oh, that has got to be painful. Now going to be 11th. Elite Risks. Painful for him. We thought it was going to be a walk in the park for him. But yet again, this is only the first race and there's still plenty of laps to go. So I would not count him out at all in this race. Here we go then. The real question really is this track going to dry up in time for potentially DRS being enabled? That's the question I want to be answered. But still, without DRS, you can see how quick Weeksy is down on the straights. Still doesn't really catch up with Stocky though. Still, with being extremely fast, just can't get any time gained on Stocky. Stocky, P1. Look at 11 seconds for James Colaco. I mean, when you're in tier 1, it's unacceptable for that, lads. I mean, I'm sorry, but how on earth? If James finished P1 in this race, he would be around, around 4th place. If he finished P1. My oh my. Well, speaking of James, he has just overtaken Sven. Oh, look at this. This is a good about. Oh my god, what has happened? Oh my Jesus. What have I just seen? And that's the perfect time for James Colaco to be going into the pits. But now here we go. Sven in McLaren, getting closer and closer to the AlphaTauri. Now we see the gap starting to form for Weeksy and Stocky there. Oh, Jesus. What did I just see in my eyes? Well, in front of my eyes there. James Colaco is now dropped down to 12th place. And that really cements his place pretty much at the back of the grid. Yeah, back of the grid he goes. For some reason, James Colaco has got one of his time penalties removed. James had a 11-second time penalty, but it's now been dropped down to 6. Did anybody else see that as well? Or am I just imagining things? Am I dreaming here? Right, there's Stocky. Still reigning in P1. Well, reigning can mean two things for this track. Reigning is in the actual reign, and reigning is in a reigning champion for the Drivers' Championship. And Elite Risks with another 3-second time penalty, so... Well, it would have to be a mountainous climb for him to get back into P1 territory and to even win the race. These two, the closest together on the grid, and it's a 1.3 second gap. Yikesy, yikesy. This man in the Ferrari. New car, new season, a new Stocky. He is in the Ferrari, and he is performing just as, if not better, than he did last season in that Red Bull. Elite Risks with a 1:37 with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's pretty much what you can only do at this point, just trying to get the fastest lap time. I mean, this is a odd race, if we're honest. A bit of an odd one. But a race that could be still worthy of watching as Elite Risks getting closer, I think, to Face Popgate. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see it if he can make at least some sort of redemption. But yeah, a battle still worth watching is with Stocky and Weeksy. Weeksy dropping away from Stocky though. Is that because it might be time to switch tyres? I think, there's still rain out, of course there is. I mean, still rain falling down, but that's just going to, I think, minimalise quite soon. I do sincerely apologise for that. My cat just knocked off my controller. Yeah. That was a bit odd. That was a bit odd. But Stocky, still P1. New territory for Stocky. And he's already claimed that territory in only the first race of the season. Still, though, we have 11, 12 laps to go. And you can see cars further up the field, so looks like Bang is going to potentially get lapped soon by the man in P1, who is Stocky. Oh, but now we can see some battles coming into play potentially with FaZe Popk and Scruff. A battle that could come up very soon. The AlphaTauri trying to gain and gain and gain on the Haas car. Popk, he span out, I think, twice in this race. He's got a 3-second time penalty. But he is battling against a person who has another 3-second time penalty. So, if he were to overtake Scruff, then he would be in a higher position to Scruff than originally without the... I don't know what I'm saying. But Hungry Throw, speaking of penalties, Hungry Throw with a 3-second time penalty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 14 people on this grid have got penalties. Just kind of shows how difficult this track is, especially when it's wet. See Weeksy there. Just doesn't look... Oh, Weeksy. I was going to say, just doesn't look like he's going to catch up. But you can see, dropped from 1.9 over to 1.5, but there's a battle that could be forming right in front of our eyes. FaZe Popk closing this gap out down to even more and more. 200 milliseconds. Here we go. Going on to a straight here. Is he going to gain time? Here we go then. He is going to gain time. An enormous amount of time. The AlphaTauri, can he go past the Ascar? Around the outside. He's looking to go around the outside. It's just not going to do it for him though. Here we go. Into the next turn. And he's just going to slow down a bit more. Haskar with the better turn there. You can see time gained for the Haskar. And that battle, we'll come back to you on that in a second. And Scruff. We saw that in front of us. He went wide. Well, he went too much on the inside, actually. But, yeah, he's got another time penalty. So, as it stands, FaZe Popk is up into P7. But here we go. Something's happened with... What's going on? Sven has span out in the McLaren. And, wait, hold on. Has Stocky lapped somebody here? I think he has. If I'm not mistaken, he has. Yeah, he definitely has. He lapped Bang, but that's no real surprise considering Bang was an AI. Stocky with the fastest time through sector 1, and now there's FaZe Popk and Scruff having a great old battle round the outside. Goes the Haskar, and it's out wide for the Haskar. Here we go, though, onto the straight, and FaZe Popk still has the position, trying to defend against this Haskar. The AlphaTauri pulling away potentially here. Onto the straight we will shortly go to. Off we go. Can Scruff, I still mix that up. Can he gain time? He gains just a little bit of time, but into the next turn, FaZe Popk with the better turn in. So he moves himself up into P7. Weeksy still trying to close that gap down. It's gone to a 1.6. Still quite close. And Stocky has set the fastest lap time of this Grand Prix. A wet and rainy Grand Prix. Here we go. Bang has somehow overtaken Sven. Oh, yeah, Sven's in the pits because he span. And he's probably refixing his front wing. Look at Scruff, though. Still getting closer and closer to FaZe Popk. 400 millisecond gap. Well, it's gone up to 800 milliseconds. And now, is it going to be a second? It is going to be a second. So, every single gap in this Grand Prix is by a second and up. It's happened sector 1, and it's a McLaren. Henkaz in the pits. Spencer has just left the session. He said, you know what, let me bin off this race. There's no point anyways. And now here we go. Crazy Grief has overtaken Henkaz as Henkaz went into the pits. I think, is that for damage on his car? No. He's moving on to the dries. So very shortly. Going on to the dries for Henkaz. You can see Stocky losing a great amount of time here to Weeksy. Now this has really just shooken this race up. The dries potentially coming on for a lot of people. And what has happened to Face Pop K? What has happened? What did he do? It's a safety car, for Christ's sakes! It's a whole safety car! Well, this really has liven these things on. Wow. Safety car out after Face Pop K crashes. Now, the question is, we saw somebody do it. It was a great gamble. I think it was Henkaz. It was. They went on to the mediums, and I think full TC. No, he's just. I think he's serving a time penalty. Really, Ragnar coming into the pits for the medium. So yes, the strategy is now to go on the mediums. I think. But Weeksy, it was going to be. Is Weeksy Stocky going to go on to the mediums? Because a lot of people seem to be going on to these mediums. Who's going to stay out on the inters, and who's going to come in on the mediums? Yeah, as you can see that, McLaren just getting lapped. Stocky. Still the intermediates. So I'm just going to take a run through on who's on the mediums. So Ragnar on the mediums, Scruff on the mediums, Henkaz on the mediums, and that is it. So interesting. Speaking of inter, not just the resting. Still Inter's on. I believe, yeah. Still Inter's on for Weeksy and Stocky. The race leaders almost just saying, do you know what? It's just not dry enough. And the safety car has ended. I think it was just a VSC. Weeksy trying to get closer and closer to Stocky. I think they're going to pit this lap, though, for the mediums. And if they do, we'll see who has the better pit stop, because we saw Weeksy didn't have as good as a pit stop as Stocky. But 6 laps left to go of the British Grand Prix. And still the fight for the lead is still going on. This has been a battle since the very start, but will it come to an end in these up-and-coming laps with potentially Weeksy getting into the lead? And Elite Risks sets the fastest lap time of all, 1:36.1, I think it was. Here comes Weeksy though, Weeksy and Stocky. You can see the rain is kind of falling back now. Stocky with a 3-second time penalty! Multiple warnings! So Weeksy is P1 right now. Well, the question is Weeksy going to make a mistake? If he makes one mistake, then I'm pretty sure he's going to get a time penalty of 3 seconds. And on that turn, no, we're just going to stay with him. We're just going to see. Does he go wide on these turns? And Scruff with a 3-second time penalty as well. So, as it stands, Weeksy P1 and winning this race. Question is, will he make a mistake? Will he go wide? Will he cut a corner? Will he get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings? Which would put Stocky and Weeksy level on these time penalties. Therefore making it even for the battle for the lead. Weeksy. Still no mistake taken. 5 laps left to go of this historic Grand Prix. Into the next turn. The Ferrari. Oh, that was close. Weeksy almost going wide on that turn. Just keeping those 2 tyres in, though. This is where Weeksy shines, isn't it? On these wet races. And no mistake will be made by Weeksy today. Unfortunately for Ferrari. I don't think any mistakes can be made by Weeksy. Just an insanely good driver. And it's just not very common to see a mistake from him. I hate this camera angle, what they put on for him. I hate that camera angle. Does anybody else just absolutely hate that? 3-second time penalty for full TC. Here we go, next turn. Oh, that was very, very close. Something's happened. Sector 1, it's an Alpine car. I think they've just spun. I think it was Ragnar. Yes, it was Ragnar. Ragnar just span a little bit. The pressure's on Weeksy to not make a mistake. All eyes are watching him. Stocky with that 3-second time penalty. It's just a question. If Weeksy makes a mistake, then he gets a 3-second time penalty. And then the battle has just come back alive. The Aston Martin performing great stuff at, I believe Aston Martin's in Britain. I do think they are. So this is technically the home Grand Prix for Weeksy. Here we go on the main straight now. If Weeksy is able to just overtake Stocky as a whole, then that will just be good enough for him to get a win on this race. So really, Weeksy going into the pits as well with Stocky. Speeding in the pit lane potentially? No. No, no, no. Weeksy did not fall for that one. So close, Stocky and Weeksy. The pits. He's going to come out on top in the pits. Filthy Scrub-a-Dub. They're still on those intermediates. Jesus Christ. So what's Stocky pitted for? On the softs goes Stocky. Weeksy on the softs as well. Stocky with a better pit stop. And Weeksy just behind. But folks, Hungry Throne has taken the lead in this race. With 3 laps to go. Okay, I'm not saying he's going to win this race. But there is a big chance that he very well could. Weeksy with a 3-second gap over to Stocky with almost a 3-second gap. If Hungry Throne, we saw this last time. Hungry Throne just didn't pit at all for anything. At Abu Dhabi, he did unfortunately lose. We'll see how long these intermediates have gone on for him. 3-second time penalty for Hungry Throne. Oh, a 6-second time penalty, but still. Oh, 12 lap tyres. They still look good, these 12 lap tyres. So, still with that 6-second time penalty, he's still pretty much good to go. If he finishes P1 here, out of nowhere, Hungry Throne, I believe this will be the first ever win for him. Crazy Griefer overtakes James Colacco there. I think James just in the pits. Yes, he is. Scruff with the fastest lap time. Well, all eyes were on Weeksy, but now all eyes are on Hungry Throne. We know he'll be hungry for this victory, but can he keep the lead? Still, though, not really much time gained from Stocky. Hungry Throne. P1. This would be Hungary's first ever win in FRR history. Blue flags, of course, with lapped cars. And there we go. Red Bull just phases right through them. It is getting tense, isn't it? It is getting tense. Well, with the 6 second time penalty, with Stocky still having a 3 second time penalty, technically it's still 3 second time penalty because 3 take away from 6 is obviously 3. So technically, Hungry Throne is only 10 seconds ahead rather than 13. And here we go. Was it a mistake from Stocky and Weeks to just pit on softs for the last few laps of this Grand Prix? Because staying out, it looks like it might work. Okay, forget my race. No, Sven. You've been lapped, mate. Come on. Crazy Griever out of nowhere with a crazy lap time of a 1:30.1. Fantastic from him. Oh my, oh my. Wow, this would just be beautiful to watch Hungry Throne winning his first ever Grand Prix. I believe it is his first ever Grand Prix. If not, then I'm just making a huge deal out of it. But, yeah, Sven, you proved it. Lads, I don't really need to back you up on that. Wait, I'm only kidding. But Hungry. Oh, Weeksy was, disconnected. Weeksy disconnected. Well, he's back now. But still, no. So Weeksy would just finish third. He's really got to try and gain some lap time. But all eyes are on Hungry Throne in the Red Bull. His first ever race in this Red Bull. And potentially his first ever win in the FRR. One more lap to go. I just want to see if, can I see how long, how worn these intermediates are? No, I can't. Okay. We'll just have to await then to see what Hungry says at the end of the race to see, Crazy Grief with another fastest lap. He is doing extremely well. Okay, why have I not got any data on the time? Gap, interval, there we go. Oh, it's 3 seconds ahead. So this is very, very close. Going on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. 3 second gap for Hungry Throne. Can he keep the 3 second gap away on this last lap? Can he win his first ever race? It's going to go down right to the wire. Stocky, 5 seconds. So he's going to have 3 seconds. As you can see, Stocky, if that 5 can go down to the 3, then he will win this Grand Prix. But Hungry Throne, can he keep the lead? Still staying 5 throughout the first sector. Shortly going to come into the second sector. After this long, long straight, it's gone down to 4.4 seconds. Oh, it's a massive loss in time for Hungry Throne around these few turns. It's staying at 4, going on to the main straight. Here we go, it's down to 3.9. Only 700 milliseconds left. Stocky getting closer and closer. It doesn't look like Hungry Throne is gonna pull it off. He's not gonna pull it off. Elite Risks with the 129 sets the fastest lap time. And oh no, Stocky's got a 2 seconds. Stocky's got 2 seconds. Hungry Throne, if he didn't have another 3 second time penalty, he probably would have won this race. But Stocky, unless he makes another drastic mistake, then Hungry Throne unfortunately will not be crowned king of this Grand Prix. And it looks like Stocky will win. Through the last turns we go. Will Stocky get wide? Will he make a mistake? I don't think he will. He won't. On to the straight. Your race winner, Stocky F1 in the Ferrari. Congratulations to him. He has won the first race of the season. And Hungry Throne getting second. Despite potentially getting that first place on the podium, it is still a fantastic finish for him. P2 for Hungry Throne in the Red Bull. Stocky finishes P1 in the Ferrari. But Weeksy, if he didn't have poor connection, if he didn't disconnect, he would be top of the podium right now. Just unfortunate for him, as you can see everybody else going to come across the line. New territory for Stocky. No problem. Easy peasy. First race. First win. Is it the first of many to come this season? We'll have to find out. So the race has come to an end, and we thank you all for watching the FRR League. Please join our Discord. You can do that by going over to our TikTok, just the same username as it is for the Twitch channel. You just type that into TikTok, come up with our thing. You can follow us as well. Do follow us, and then click the link in our bio. It will take you over to the FRR Discord, where you could be driving instead of watching other people drive. Hungry Throne Driver of the Day. It's absolutely deserved for me. Stocky F1, your race winner of the British Grand Prix. Who's that? Yeah, interviews. Who wants to do an interview then? Well, Moser, how can we do the interviews? Because no audio lab, so we can't really do interviews. Like at the end of the races, can't we? Because of our audio issue. So I don't think we'll be able to do that, Moser, unfortunately. But congratulations to Stocky. Thank you all for watching the FRR. We hope you will come back tomorrow for the Tier 2 race. Here at the same track, but will we have the same drama? I hope not. Because this drama was good, but we want better. And that's what mostly FRR provides. Moser, I can't do interviews if the audio issue. I can't do them. We'll have to see if we can do interviews, by the way. Try. Alright, I'll invite Stocky to the race if, well, to the party if I can. Alright, Stocky, lads. We will have a quick pause in the stream. Please come back to see what Stocky has to say for his race win. About the race. Okay, so we're here with Stocky now. Hopefully you can hear him. So Stocky, new car and a win first race. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean for the team, those down at Ferrari? What did you think about Hungry Throne's performance, getting P2, lasting so long on those tyres? What would you have to say to him at the end of this race?
I think he did well. He maximised everything he could do. He didn't really have a choice but to send it long at the end because he was sort of going to look for the no man's land in third place. So he did what was best and gained a spot from it. So, you know, fair play, isn't it?
Well, the question has to be asked. Are you looking for another victory in the Drivers' Championship?
I don't know. Very early days. I need to see how many rounds I can actually make, but I certainly don't turn up to finish second.
Thank you for your time, Stocky, and thank you all for watching today's Grand Prix at Britain. We hope you will return tomorrow for the Tier 2 race. I've been Harrison Wilson. Goodbye.